have like a. Oh god.
We're live.
You brought this on yourself as she stomps down her stiletto into its neck. The raccoon's like,
Oh my god, that is a hell of a picture. Not my house. You came to the wrong house, boy.
we don't take kindly to your invasion.
You're type around here.
You're type around here. You even look like a thief. You got raccoon thief eyes. I knew what you were up to.
Damn.
Oh, dude, have you seen The Incredibles? Like when the baby and the raccoon have the all-time epic fight, and the Jack's. Yes, that's solid.
Hey everybody. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. We're live.
We're live.
We're just up here just talking nonsense. Hey everybody.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Infinite podcast. We're going to be talking a lot about raccoons today that hide in Holly's roof. It's been a very interesting couple of weeks. Sorry, we didn't go live last week. I don't really know what's going on with every second week at the moment, so you will have to bear with us until this period of tumultuousness is over in my life. But when it comes to gaming, it's been an absolutely fantastic week. It's been huge. Silksong launched. I got to play a little bit, but I want to go around the panel, see what they've been up to, and see what they've been playing. Umbra, how's your week been? I know you've played a little bit of Silksong. How you feeling? What's been going on? We'll jump in Silksong after, so don't go too much into it. But how's your week?
Don't go too hard, as they would say. Pause. Man, it's been a good week. Played, like you said, some Silksong. Loving it so far. I'm about 3 hours or so in. Loved it, man.
Slacker.
Loving it, should I say. Shinobi still, though. That's still on my mind. I'm actually trying to wrap up the last 2 achievements, which is beating it and defeating the final boss within 10 hours. And I'm like mostly through with that now. And that'll be like my 4th completion of that game. And what else was it that I had played a bit of?
Oh, completion.
Yeah, full completion. But yeah, also I had to move to Ragebound, and I got a bunch of other games I picked up. So yeah, it's been a good week. We had a really good show yesterday. Danny couldn't join us, but my newest member of the Fix, Crusader, came through, and he invited a buddy, RTS. Really good show. We had a lot of good discussions and things like that from upcoming games and things like that, which I'm sure we'll be covering some tonight.
Is Shinobi still not on Xbox, right?
No, it's on Xbox.
I cannot find this game on Xbox.
Art of Vengeance.
It's not on there. I mean, it's not in the store. I've been looking for it. I've been keeping an eye out for it. How am I missing this game? How can I not find it? Maybe I'm spelling Shinobi wrong. That could be what's happening. Because
SHINOBIE. I mean, BI, not E. NOBI.
E-I-O.
I-I-O.
Donte, how's your week been? What have you been up to? How's things?
Yo, week's been good, man. It's been a little busy, but I can't really complain. So what have I been doing? Well, me and Holly did what's it called? Gears Reloaded.
Gears Insane.
Gears on Insane. So that was really cool. We burned
2
through
settings.
that in like 2 settings. Yeah, 2 settings, 2 4-hour plus settings. So that was pretty cool. Didn't have too many main issues. Some few little glitchy stuff that we might end up talking about later. But outside of that, it was it played through. There's some changes obviously that it seems were there that we didn't. Some weird things like the standing thing. Well, the standing and shooting
Very
behind
annoying.
cover.
Yeah.
That was
Can we talk about that? Let's just do it real fast.
But yeah, outside of that, that was a good time.
What's that about?
Well, like there's a thing sometimes where your character will like go up against the wall, like, but you're standing behind cover, right? You're not actually crouched. And there'll be an angle where like you clearly can like peek around a corner and shoot somebody, but it makes it feel like you're not
It just
at
won't
the
let
angle.
you.
Yeah, it just won't let you. It makes it feel like you're in the middle of the wall when you're really not. And it doesn't recognize that you're at an edge where you should be able to peek around and start
Huge
shooting at
problem.
somebody. So the weird little behavior.
It's definitely areas where you were able to shoot in the other versions of it. For some reason, it hates standing cover. Like it really has a problem with it. It won't let you shoot from those. The Ultimate Edition is better than Reloaded, in my opinion, for a few different little things like that. And then also they changed a couple things in the story, which not necessarily the overall story, but the best scene in that game is when you're in the bottom and you have to go to that like energy tower, and you're in the tunnels and you walk up,
Well,
and
I know
there's
what
a
you're talking
part.
about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the line is, why is it so windy in here or something like that? And Marcus says, don't worry about it, it's just the wind or whatever. And Dom says, does the wind say hostels? Or, does the wind ever sound like it's saying the word hostels to you or something
Yeah.
like that, right? And then they do a cutscene to one of the locusts that's standing there, and it goes, hostels,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They cut that. They cut the hostels thing. They cut to a
What?
locust, and yes, and they cut to a locust, and it just goes, ah.
Yeah. It doesn't actually say it. But
Really?
outside of that, it played well.
Yes.
So we had
That's
fun
a
playing it. But there's some stuff
It's like
that
one
they
of the
were like, what?
biggest things that people remember about that game, just
Mhm.
because it's so funny and ridiculous, right? And then there's just this locust hissing hostels, and it's really funny. And they cut it. I don't know. Yeah, like, why would you even change that? I don't know. I don't know why you would change that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Tom.
Weird. No, it's fine. But yeah, weird, some little weird quirks. But outside of that, like it was still enjoyable. We had a blast. Rom is way too spongy, man. That's all I'll say. Is he's just way too
Yeah.
spongy and insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like we shot it. We shot our load at it. No,
Many
sorry.
times. They had to go
Many
back for more
times
every
we
time.
shot the whole payload, and we were like, "Oh, well, we're dead. Well, let's go back again. Let's do it again." And we finally got them after I think it was like a good 20 to 30 minutes that we had to try to take this guy
Easy.
down. But we finally got him. But yeah, that was a great time. Outside of that, man, I've been just redoing my character on Xbox for the Helldivers, having a good time with that, man. Been linking up with some good friends between both the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC community that I met, and it's been making interesting friends across the different platforms as well too. People who like add you and all that stuff. So it's been a good time for gaming, man. I can't really complain. I'm enjoying it.
Holly. Sorry, I'm looking for something while I'm doing this. You caught me off guard.
Sorry.
Holly,
My
how's your week
earbuds
been?
just
What have you been up to?
just told me that they're battery low, so now I might be in real trouble. It's been an insane week, but gaming wise, I've played a ton. I played Metal Gear Solid. I'm almost done with it. Very close to the end. I've played on PC, and even then, it's fine wherever you want to play it.
Give her the
Played
PC
on-
music. There it is. That's what I was
Yeah,
waiting
there
for.
we go. Also, though, side note, if you're playing that, if you played the monkey, the snake versus monkey level, the ape snake, Operation Ape Snake, where you're going around just getting the monkeys.
Ape
They
Escape, the
added-
Ape Escape guy. Yeah.
They added Astrobot into those levels, and it's so cute. I love that they added Astrobot into it. It's great. It just fits perfectly. It's so nice. I'm almost done with Metal Gear Solid. And then I have played Hell Is Us, and I've played about an hour's worth of Chronos. I actually think I'm going to stream Chronos because it seems like it would be a good stream game. But I've played those. I've played Ready or Not. I played Gears. One other thing too, they didn't, at least as far as I could tell, they did not remaster anything, the cutscenes in Reloaded at all. They're definitely the same cutscenes from Ultimate. And the gameplay is more solid in Ultimate. Ultimate looks great. I highly recommend just playing Ultimate if you haven't played it. But anyway, and then also, what else have I played? I played Peak, which is just so much fun. Yeah. Sure, there's other
That's
stuff,
it.
but that's it. That was a lot, though. It's a lot.
It's like that Forrest Gump moment when he's like shrimp gumbo, shrimp saute.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yep.
It's been going for 3 days.
Fallout 76 got a big update. I've been playing Fallout 76 too. I got a huge update.
I need a
There you
bow 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 on the soundboard, but I don't
you
have it
don't.
every time someone
No, you
mentions
don't.
Fallout 76.
No, you don't.
16 times the detail. My week has been absolutely fucking horrific. I'm not having a good time in my life in general. Nothing serious. Just things that shouldn't have gone the way that they went. So I have been playing. I finished up Gears with Monad, so that was pretty good. But we just played it. I put it on normal, and then it was way too easy. In fairness, like we literally weren't even. Most of the time, I wasn't in cover. I did die, but like when you know you've got a co-op partner, you're not worried about dying because they'll come and get you when they're done. You know what I mean? So I was just running and gunning. Yeah, I didn't find. I mean, I didn't really have heaps of problems with it. I just, again, why release it's basically the ultimate version. There's not a whole lot of difference.
It's got issues with the reloads too. It doesn't. The reloads.
Yeah, the timing on it was a
doo-doo.
little bit off, dude. Because there's a lot of times where I know for a fact that like I was either right on point or even a little bit later, and then your character would do the animation where it's like, damn it, like you missed it, right? And I'm like, nah, man. And then I thought it was like, okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe my controls act a little wonky, but Holly was experiencing the same thing. So yeah, that reload feels to be a little bit off, where it's not really consistent. Where there's times you know you got it, and it gives you the error, and that's not good when you're getting one shot by those damn wretches and stuff like that. That's not good.
Yeah.
And
Soiltech says he was having problems with it too.
It does sound like a skill issue. I'll take you guys through a Crash Gears course.
I was going to say it does sound kind of like skill issues. I know Donte's skilled though. I can't. Yeah, but yeah. So I don't know. Just you know, I have my doubts. Yeah. Off screen.
I'd like to say
he's about to go off screen.
That Holly kicked ass in some Gears. Even on the parts where we have to split up, Holly kicked ass.
We know now. We know for sure.
Oh, hold on. Even now, to this day, I don't care what level this damn thing is on, but even now to this day, the most hated part of the game, and I love the game, but the most annoying part of the game is when they split you, and or two parts. I'm gonna get two parts. One is where they split you and you're in the mines, the train track area, and you gotta there's things that come down from the ceiling. You gotta shoot them off at a specific time, so that way it doesn't fall into the right. If you shoot down too late, it lands inside the thing with you, and then it depends on like not one of you can mess up, right? So you'll end up doing that over and over again because like maybe one time I got it on point and then Holly messes up, or it's vice versa, right? So everyone has to be perfect and like they one shot you if they fall in, right? Because it's on insane. And the other thing that really still annoys me to this day is how many times you have to stop to do the finger guns and be like talking to control. Like it just stop doing that. like don't do that no more.
Sausage fingers.
It's too much.
Like we're going to breakfast. I need some more sausages.
It takes you out like every 5 seconds. You're talking to control and you're walking and like something could be happening. Who knows? But you're walking and talking and just it slows the pace of the game. So it's like
do you know why that's in it?
That was too much.
So back in the day, that was the way that they could load into an area without like stopping you, and you're still moving, and they've got the time to load it, which they don't need to do now, obviously. But it was a clever way to do it back in the day. So yeah, I played Gears. Again, like just do a remake, man. And we got a bit to talk about with Gears actually down the line. I got a topic there, something that's very, very interesting, and I'm curious to see what happens based on that later on. I played this is what I was looking for, my playtime in Silksong. So I played about 2 hours, 7 minutes. Not about exactly 2 hours and 7 minutes. And I didn't like the first one, but I am liking this one, and it might have something to do with color. It might be because I'm ADD and I'm like, oh, color, something shiny. Or I don't know. But if I like this one, I'll go back and play the first one, and see how that goes up. And I'm liking it. Credits New Dawn. I'm playing.
First one is a
masterpiece.
masterpiece. Just want to throw that at you.
Yeah, I just wasn't getting into it.
The first one is a masterpiece. Yeah, so of Hollow Knight we're talking about.
I just couldn't. I didn't get any skills though. You know what I mean? Like I didn't get far enough in to earn powers. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it took me, I got to a bit that was quite hard, and I'm like, oh fuck this. But I found the bosses in this one really easy. Like I've gone through 3 bosses so far, and they've been pretty simple. Like they're pretty easy to kill. I mean, obviously they're difficult.
Simpler. Yeah, I will agree with that. I don't think they've been as challenging as Hollow Knights so far.
Maybe they've got metrics and they're like where people are like just dropping the game and they feel like they need to reel people in a little bit more. I think that's a clever thing to do. But yeah,
do you
Chronos,
think it's the thing where it just hasn't ramped up yet, or are they just trying to make it a little bit more excessive or accessible for like people who may be new to it?
Someone kept asking if I want the top or the bottom. So whenever we split, I'd always ask Monad if he wants the top or the bottom. On the top or the bottom? Where would you rather be?
You're talking about Gears and Gears Reloaded? Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And then he, for some reason, I don't get it, he was being very uncooperative and he wouldn't answer the question. So I had to choose every time. Really unfair. It probably didn't help that I was like, so do you want the top or the bottom?
Oh.
I knew you'd say that.
He was like, you silly boy, you know I want the bottom. That's what Gray said.
Ooh. Gray, stand up for yourself.
He deserved it. He deserved that.
So yeah, I mean,
that's
Gears,
power bottom to you, sir.
Gears is good. Hollow Knight's looking really, really good. Chronos New Dawn, I feel like that Blue Team has not properly hit their stride for AAA sort of horror, but I feel like they're building to something that's going to be amazing in the future. I don't think that Chronos is going to be it, but I'm liking it. I want to jump into the topics. But before I do, please hit the like button, share us out. We go live whenever we can at the moment. It's been, and I played the Hell Is Us demo, and I was not, Umbra's dead. And I was not, I was not super, I was curious about Hell Is Us. And then when I played the demo, I'm like, all right, this is a day one for me. I'm definitely going to have to get this game. And I don't know, I thought it was going to be a Souls-like, but it's not a Souls-like. I don't feel like the combat's like super deep, but I feel like it's just deep enough. The world's intriguing, and I want to see what happens there. I saw the IGN review say that the acting was bad from the main character, and I didn't find that. And then I watched a whole bunch of other reviews that like the acting is great, and I'm like, I don't know, is IGN just out of touch? They're like the PlayStation of media at the moment. Sorry, I have to do the. Yeah, so I think that's a day one for me, but I thought Chronos is going to be a quicker get through. So I was like, well, I'll get through Chronos and then I'll come back to Hell Is Us after Silksong. There's a lot happening, and this is the topic that we're about to jump into. It's going to be a humongous 2 months of gaming, and I've got a month to get my shit together and get through Chronos, Hollow Knight, Silksong, Hell Is Us, and Ghost of Yote, and I'm probably not going to do it. So in the month of September,
what about Borderlands?
I mean, it might be good. It might be good. I have not met a Borderlands. Okay. Yeah, I haven't met one that I like yet. You know what I mean? Like I didn't like it.
You didn't like 2? I find 2 is very good.
The humor's just really sort of. I should like it because it's dad, dick and fart jokes basically. It's like dad, dick and fart jokes, but it just doesn't do it for me. So in the month of September. We've got Hell Is Us, Hollow Knight, Silksong, Chronos New Dawn, Borderlands 4, Dying Like the Beast, which I know that Monad's going to be playing because he bought the big edition. Oh, and Silent Hill F, which I don't know about yet. I'm a little bit iffy on. And Ghost of Yote. So,
I saw somebody post that they had seen some preview builds of Silent Hill F, and they said that all of the imperfections are completely worked out. They said that everything is smooth as butter and it all is just, it's looking really good.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure about. I'm not sure. It's a slow burn, and I felt like I couldn't get through Silent Hill 2, which is another one from Bloober Team, and I was just like, oh, this is killing me. It's so slow. And then and a lot of people complained that it was there was more combat than the original. And then when I came back to it, I'm like, I don't even know what the hell's going on here, and I'm going to stop playing this game. So I couldn't do Silent Hill. And and I know a lot of people loved it. I'm not going to take away from that. That's fine, but I hope it's not the same sort of thing. But Umbra, I want to jump to you because we're having a big week in September. I definitely want to know how you're feeling about Hollow Knight Silksong at the moment. If you've played Chronos or Hell Is Us, and what your plan is for the month, because there's just a lot. There's a lot to get through. I'm going to have to triage this, and I don't know what I'm going to cut out. If it's Ghost of Yote, I'll wait for the reviews, see what happens. Umbra, how you feeling about the month?
There's a lot. That, like somebody said, BT mentioned in the chat. Yeah, the Indiana Jones DLC dropped the other day as well. And
Monad's playing that.
I hadn't even played. Yeah, Monad did mention it on the show yesterday. I hadn't even beat the main game, and much like him with Shadows, I didn't beat Shadows yet either. I still need to finish that. So I got some games to go back to. As far as Silksong is beautiful for one. For one, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. It's as beautiful as the first, probably more so in some ways. I'm still amazed that Team Cherry, being as small of team as they are, can put out like such charm in a game like this. It has been a long time, to be fair, before we finally got this one, which was originally going to be DLC for Hollow Knight. So, but kudos to them in either way. Game is gorgeous, man. Sound design is great. As you noticed, the combat gets better once you start getting new what do they call them crests. I forgot, the first one called it something else, but these are crests in this one here that you can equip her with and things like that, and with her needle. So a little hornet right here. Game is dope. I do believe, as we were saying a minute ago, I do believe that the boss fights have been slightly easier than Hollow Knights have been. But this could be just because the early start, right? Like it could ramp up a little bit, to be fair. So I don't know just how far it'll go when it comes to that. And I got so much more to go. I do wonder how long the game is. I'm hoping it's not too short. But I will say,
it's $20, right?
$20. I was just about to say, with $20, it makes me feel like it's not a really long campaign, if you will. I would think. So I don't know. I will say though, I mean, even if it's like, let's say it's an 8-hour game, that's $20. That's not bad, right? It's hard to complain about that. So, and speaking of, the game being $20 and everything like that, isn't it insane that this little game here crashed Xbox, Steam, Nintendo? I would have said PlayStation, but not that one.
It didn't crash Xbox, did crash PlayStation.
It did crash PlayStation? Somebody said to me yesterday it didn't crash PlayStation.
It crashed PlayStation, Steam, every store that it was on except Xbox.
Oh, okay. So people were experiencing issues on Xbox though when I was getting it.
Probably because of pre-download, because of Game Pass.
I don't know. It could have been. I have downloaded it through Game Pass myself. I didn't have an issue, to be fair, and then I bought it right after it immediately, like almost immediately. I bought it, which is, yeah. I guess I wanted to try it out first to see what was going on. But yeah, man, I'm a big fan of Metroidvanias, and this right here just, it just feeds that desire right there for me. One of the greater Metroidvanias of all time is Hollow Knight, the first game. So I'm already coming into this one with expectations of greatness, and like I said, this came and launched at what 500 and 300, well 500 and 530 some odd thousand peak players concurrently on Steam DB. So like it's insane the popularity this game has, and I think when you look at that and the quality this will give you and compared to the pricing of the game, I think it speaks bigger about where some developers and such and publishers can go when it comes to pricing and things like that, and what they give you as far as time in a game and things like that, which could possibly work in favor of AAA gaming, where they can cut down the hours maybe and cut down the price. Let's get away from them 70s and 80s when pricing, right?
There is on that. Well, let me just bring something up on screen. It's going to take a couple seconds, but there is a post from Destin today, and I expect we're going to see more of this just on that point since you brought it up. I'll bring it up on screen if you just give me 2 seconds, is that a lot of developers are actually apparently complaining about the fact that Silksong has done so well at such a cheap price.
Mm-hmm.
There's hot take today. Lots of LinkedIn posts today with sour grapes over Silksong's success because it broke all the rules the industry has been telling us on Game Pass, minimal marketing, lower price point, still a hit. It's called a unicorn, an outlier, but these unicorns keep happening if every outlier keeps proving those in the system wrong. Maybe it's time to ask what's broken about the system and not how the outliers got lucky. Interesting take.
Bars.
I just thought I would sort of throw that into the mix, seeing as Holly posted that. Thank you, Holly, in the topics just as you were talking, and you mentioned that it's been super successful. I think it's sold 2 million in the first day or something, right?
I didn't see the sale prices, but that's pretty impressive. And this right here continues like to the trend of destroying a lot of those narratives when it comes to Xbox Game Pass and games, right? Like when you have, and it's not always going to be the case, to be fair, but it does help push the narrative away of, oh, Xbox cannibalizes sales, ooh, and you put it on Game Pass as slop and all this nonsense that people come up with to try to, demonize the Game Pass model. But this I will say, like, yeah, it's great to see the success of it. I'm sure it feels good for you, Risk, having an Australian home team right here getting another W. But yeah,
Yep.
it's unique. I mean, it's not unique, but it's great to see that they've had like such success, and they're going to sell through. I mean, the first game had already sold through 15 million copies. Now, to be fair, they did have sales here and there, so I'm not saying that it was like full price, original price that people paid for it. But either way, 15 million sales. I expect this to do similar, if not slightly under. But it is good to see. Like I said, for me, really loving what I played so far. I have more to go, but the charm is there. The same charm that the first one had is definitely there. You go around and you learn the lore of this hollow, right, with these bugs, and you get to talk to all these different characters and stuff like that you come across from a traveling band of fleas to to this old man fixing the signpost to let you do side missions and side quests. It's really dope.
Is that what he does?
Yeah, when you talk with him right there, he's first building the signpost. You come back, he'll have it built, and you can get missions from him right there and turn them in right there. Yeah,
Yeah. The missus was talking to me when that was happening. I'm like, I'm trying to listen to what she's saying about dinner, and I'm trying to read what this dude's trying to say. I'm like, they're talking to me.
Typical woman that want to ruin the gaming for men, isn't that right, Holly?
Have you seen that PlayStation thing? Whenever he boots up the PlayStation, she's like, "I'm ready." I'm pretty sure Holly would be like, "I am unready. Let's sit down and play some games." But Holly, wanted to go to you because I know that you have played all of these. You've had a crack at all of these, but also you posted this in the topics chat. So this is a pretty interesting thing to sort of riff off as well. I've got a little bit more to jump on it. So yeah, I guess $20 games being in the industry, but I'll add some context to this about the marketing because I don't think this is sort of a known an understanding behind the developers. So I spoke to a developer close to Team Cherry at Melbourne's PAX while I was over there, but basically the problem with Silksong is that every time they put anything out, the community would absolutely lose their mind and become really, really toxic and start actually attacking Team Cherry. Calling it vaporware and all this sort of stuff. So they literally stopped talking just because they were being so attacked all the time. And so it wasn't like we're not going to market because we can't afford it or for any other reason other than they just didn't want to see the negativity. And they also stopped looking at social media as well. Like they weren't watching anything just because there was a lot of negativity around the wait for the game. But Holly, yep, jumping to you. How you feeling about the game? How you feeling about what you played? Like, what about this whole narrative where developers are getting upset about the Baldur's Gates, the Silksongs that sell for little, sell a lot, and are fantastic?
That was a lot. I just saw another post which ties into the Silksong, the $20 thing, right? And I think it's an interesting post. Holy crap. Thank you, Lotus. Uh, it's good to see you too. I don't see you as often these days.
tell me sweet little lies.
Okay. The post says to never listen to Umbra. No, the post says, of course Silksong can use a price tag of $20. They only had 4 people on the payroll, 3 devs and 1 composer, while still taking in a steady trickle of sales from the first game. You can't just take what they did and say to everyone else, now you do that too, and only charge $20 for it.
I don't think
If your
that's
argument
my bad, go ahead.
is that they could have charged more, I don't care. They had the luxury of being able to only charge $20. That's all that matters. Most studios, even small organizations, can't make those financials work. And if you demand that studios have the cost base to last 7 years without a new game, then you're basically asking for fewer employees. That's fine if that's what you're asking for. I'm all for smaller teams with more focus. But next time layoffs come up, remind everyone that's what you wanted.
Mm.
It's interesting.
No, it's a good
And
take. I just
it
don't think
is.
no one's saying that every game that come out is going to be able to be priced at $20. I just think it's more of just like, hey, there is a realm and possibility where you can just focus on something that's not as large of a game, and even if it's by a smaller team, but that is reasonably priced. That is not like the $80 price tag that most games come at, or even, like if it's a AA game. To me, if a double game's at $60, that might be a little bit too much for a AA game. So I think there's somewhere in the middle that maybe some games can start looking at that would probably increase the amount of people saying like, that's reasonable for me, I'll go ahead and purchase it, versus the turnoff where they see the $69.99 or $79.99 and they don't know if that game's is worth that particular price. So that's just my take.
I think the industry has to stay multi-tiered, right? Like you can't just have all these $20 to $50 games and expect that, everybody's going to love and enjoy that, because not everybody likes smaller experiences. Some people just want the big bangers and they want to move on, right? And that's totally fine. Plus, when you have a bunch of different ideas out there, varying sizes of varying scales, then that of course influences, right, next future development, next future sales, next ideas and other games, and how to take those and sort of riff on them on their own. Plus I mean, I'm not saying anything negative about Silksong at all, but it's a very specific type of game. It has very specific mechanics. Plus this is a sequel, right? So they're building off of something that they've already had like a base structure for, they've already had the art for, and of course adding and develop, changing things, etc. But some people like the games that have much more complexity, or some people don't care for games with a cartoon aesthetic, or whatever the case is, right? And all of those scenarios cost different things because you need different people to work on them, right? You need different people to develop different types of things. So I don't know, I think it's incredible that it came out at $20. I think that's absolutely wild. They also had the Game Pass bag, and you better believe Microsoft knew that game was going to be worth a mint, right? So I'm sure they did well on that deal.
Wouldn't be
I don't
shocked
know,
if
I think it's
Microsoft covered their whole production.
they're
Like the whole cost of
especially if they
development.
only have 4 people on staff, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm sure they contracted out things here and there, but anyway, so it is, it's really, what's really cool is that we have this industry that's looking to find ways to stabilize itself now, right? They're not shying away from the big games. They know the big games still sell big dollars when they're done right. They know that the tentpole franchises are still a solid way to continue the legacy, to continue the movement, to make bank. But they are also, we're seeing so many people, right, return to the fact that the most graphically enhanced, super duper whatever doesn't always make the next best game, right? Like I've been playing Abiotic Factor, which looks like PlayStation 2 graphics, but it is one of my most fun games this year, right? It's not always about all of these technological things. It's more about, did you put a lot of love and soul into it? And did you respect the player's time? Did you do something that the players want to play? Not that you felt like you wanted per se, right? So I think what we're seeing is kind of the industry sort of balancing itself out over time with things like this and things like Expedition 33, which again was only $50. It's cool. I think it's really nice to see that. And then of course we get things like Metal Gear Solid, which is a $70 game and it's fantastic and it's a remake and I'm totally fine with that because that game is so old that it's due its turn, right? And it brings a whole new genre of people into Metal Gear that never played it because it's so old, right?
What are you playing it on?
PC. So I mean, there is a whole other conversation to have about Unreal Engine 5. The more it's out there in the wild,
Careful
the more
now.
we see problems with it.
Careful now.
So I'm just saying there is stuff to talk about this week with Unreal Engine because Tim Sweeney says it's a skill issue, which I thought was quite bold.
Damn.
Quite bold.
Sweeney was just speaking that gospel. That's all it was.
Anyway,
I feel like he was. We could get to that.
That's not our topic
we'll get
right
to
now.
that.
That's not
We're
right.
definitely gonna get
That's not our topic. Yeah.
Oh,
But as far as the other games, I'm having a blast. I did have major stutter issues with Metal Gear Solid. Again, that's a UI Engine 5, but it's gotten better. Hell is Us. I've only played like 2 or 3 hours, but I was really enjoying it. I think the exploration is really cool. The puzzles are cool. It's kind of right up my alley. And Chronos, man, the first 45 minutes was just like, whew, the atmosphere is fantastic. It's really, really good. So I'm excited. It's going to be a month of, I also have Borderlands pre-ordered. And then, I don't know, the rest of this month, there's so many games coming out I want to play, but I would also, I think my other lower priority, but still one that I want to pick up is Silent Hill F. So
Yeah.
At least until October, right? And then October is a whole nother thing.
All these Unreal Engine 5 games, Borderlands 4, Chronos, Metal Gear
Solid. And they
all
all stutter all over the gaff.
And you loving them. You love them.
And we're not talking about that yet.
Yeah.
We're not talking about it yet.
Wait till we get there. Because that wasn't a topic, but I'm going to throw it in there because it's obviously going to be one that's going to cause a little bit of back and forth. Look, Donte, I would normally jump to you, but Holly said a couple of things there that I want to riff off and one push back on.
Have at it.
No, I'm right all the time. Lotus said I could do no wrong. So
Lotus did say that. Lotus said,
I'll start with the
Lotus. You got to stop giving her that amount of confidence. You got to stop that.
Lotus,
right, go ahead. Go for it. Have at it.
I mean, then I got to come in with the chop down. No. Awesome. So with Silksong, I think it's a little bit. There is a little bit to be said for the $20 price tag because they knew they had a hit. Like they already knew they had a hit on their hands, so they could price this thing lower because they knew that they would get the money back. So I mean, or the money that they were looking to get. Like they weren't greedy. Obviously, you could spend that another way and say, well, they could have priced it at $40 and it still would have probably sold the same amount of copies, maybe a little bit less, and they would have made more money. So they weren't greedy. And I think that that's the point that a lot of people are trying to make, cut to the quick at the point, is that stop being greedy. I think these game companies do that a lot with the monetization in game, the pricing of games. There's no need to have an $80 game, in my opinion. And if there is, then you need to work on something, which sort of brings me to the other thing is that, like, yes, not every company can do what Silksong's doing because for developers, it's small, it's agile. There's that word. And as they were saying, one of the things that they said was, as we made changes to the game, we could see them almost instantly within the game. So they could have an idea, put the idea in, instantly decide whether it was good or bad, and then develop it further until it was fully fleshed out, or didn't like the idea and they could take it straight out. And it wasn't cost them a lot of development time. and they really enjoyed the development process. Is one of the other things that they said. But I think that the industry needs to really look at how it develops games in all spaces, and become more efficient at what they're doing. And if that includes AI, that includes looking at your workflow, if that includes looking at people working remotely, and that's causing, is that causing issues? Really look at these things. Like, don't make a decision because I think, do a little bit of research to see if remote work is holding you up, or is it better?
Stop it.
But
Donte and I will vehemently fight against the loss of
I know a lot of
remote
people
work.
would, and I do a bit of work from home as well. And for me personally, the work from home thing, I actually work better because I've got a whole bunch of screens, I've got quiet, and I can smash it out. But that's not the case in some instances. Look at it from a metric holistically. Look at your systems. Are you using UA5? Stop it. Get Decima. Something better. No response. Look at the systems that you're using. Look at how you're implementing.
I was wiping my screen, but believe me, I was screaming over here.
Look at the how you work, all that workflow stuff, all that remote work, or look at all that and see what you can do. And that leads to one thing that is bad, or that we consider bad, which is layoffs, right? Because if you become more efficient, you don't need as many people. If there's a lot of people in the chain, it does slow things down. And if there's a lot of people at the top who aren't agile enough to make decisions, when you're escalating, because the way it works in a company, which I feel slows down companies greatly, is they find a problem, then they go, here's the options of how I can fix this problem. They escalate to this person, then they take the options to this person, and it may get diluted. They may remove an option, they may add an option, and then it gets to this person, and then they go, yes, absolutely do it. And then maybe they forget to send that email back, or maybe this happens, or maybe that happens. All this slows down your company. So I feel like as well, POSComms is what you want to call it, but like positive communication within the company and agile communication is 100% a must. And I think that they should look, all these companies should look at how they're communicating, how they're escalating, and getting their decisions made. Because from a lot of the things I've seen in the industry, it takes a long time to get a decision made about bad or good. And sometimes those decisions don't even get made. And it's disheartening when you find a problem and you have a solution and you want to implement it, and you've got to wait 2 months until someone comes back down and says, yes, do it, or no, don't, as well as look at all your monetization. And then we'll go into Tim Sweeney later on. I think that there's integrating your optimization is a fair point. And Holly, to push back, I'm pretty sure she can hear me because she's got her earphones in. Developers should always make the game that they want to make. 100% they should make the game that they want to play. You're the artist. You should paint the picture that you want to paint. You should do anything that you're creating. You should create what you want to create.
That's the Veil Guard. Look how that turned out.
I don't think that's yeah. Some people make shit game. I'm not going to say it's a shit game because I haven't played it, but I will play it soon. And then I'll be able to. But that's your game is successful or it's not successful, based on what you make and what you like. And if you make the game that you want to make and it doesn't hit, or it's not right or whatever, go away, take that feedback, and then come back and make something that you want to properly play. No one wants, I don't know, I can't fully believe that anyone wanted to play a game where it's like Dawson's Creek in a fantasy setting. So
I don't
Dawson's Creek.
That's what the dialogue looked like. Is like a teen show teaching teens how to behave.
CW.
Yeah, it was a bit. Anyway, but I think developers should always create what they want to make. I really do, because and then if you're a good developer and what you want to play makes sense, it'll hit. You know what I mean? Like Team Cherry wanted to make this. The guys who did Cult of the Lamb, they wanted to make a roguelite with sort of base elements and stuff, and they made what they wanted to. All these games that hit, Vampire Survivors, he made a game that he wanted to make that he could make. So I think the artist should always decide. And I think where the problem comes in is where publishers get involved and they're like, you're not monetizing this game enough. Hey, we need to bump up the price, or hey, you need to add this to your game. And I think that's where you run into problems. And I really think that a lot of these big AAAs, Xbox, PlayStation, the 2Ks, the EAs, the Ubisofts, and Ubisoft and EA do this in a small way. is break off smaller teams and do smaller experiences, but let them make what they want to make. Like, don't get involved. And if it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, great. If it does work and it doesn't sell a lot, but it's a great game, also give them another chance, because the Prince of Persia guys got shut down after they made a fantastic game, and they shut them down. But they may be coming back because there was some stuff there. So sorry, Donte, I just wanted to
hope so, because that's a great injustice for the what's the name of the Crown, Lost Crown. For that game, that's pretty much a masterpiece in Metroidvanias. For them to be closed down after that, that is a crime.
Absolute crime. And if it was if they were a single studio just making that game, that would have been hugely successful. Like for the 500,000 copies I think it sold, that's hugely successful. Look at Housemarque. I think PlayStation did right with Housemarque. They didn't sell a lot, but PlayStation recognized that they had a good game, and they're like, what could they make next? Let's give them another project. And I think that's a smart thing to do. Don't always look at the sales now. Look at the reputation and the sales that you can get down the road from investing in these studios that make good games, even if they don't hit straight away. Silksong didn't sell like millions of copies immediately. It took a little bit of time.
It did, and the first game took even longer, and actually just hit its highest concurrent of 72,000 or so after Silksong hit its highest. So people clearly weren't all that keen on Hollow Knight to begin with. You know, it took time, but like you said, with that, even now recently they've hit 3 million sales for Lost Crown, but that's after bringing it, to PC and stuff like that and Steam, which they didn't at first. So I don't know if it's more of the team fault so much as it was Ubisoft's fault of not putting it everywhere initially. That was I think the biggest fault they made right there, is not putting it on Steam and such initially along with console. I think that was just dumb.
Yep.
And they suffered because of it. Also, the pricing was a little bit of too much for people. But to me, I thought it was well worth the price. But I do see how somebody sees a smaller Metroidvania style game and they're like, $50 for that, when it should be like 30 or 40.
Yeah,
so I get it.
I mean, good point as well. But with a bigger studio, you've got your publishing, you've got your marketing, you've got all the stuff that they spend on it that they probably, don't spend in Silksong, and they probably didn't need to spend, as depending on we don't know what the budgets were behind the scenes, and this probably costs a lot more to make that game. But damn, if it's a good game, you've got something you can build on. It's going to be cheaper for you to make next time. Donte, we didn't get to you because I jumped in because Holly brought up some stuff that I really wanted to riff off. Are you there, Catman?
No.
He's not there. If anyone clips that, I swear to God, I'll be on the show for good. Do it. So the other topic, I think when Donte comes back, he'll want to jump back, but we'll jump ahead. Before we do, please hit the like button, share us out. We go live EST every 8 p.m. EST every Friday-ish. And shout out to Lotus Esprit with the 20 membership gifts. Really, really appreciate you. You're an absolute legend, long-time supporter of the show. Really appreciate everything you do. I can't show the other one that you did because it is incorrect. No, absolutely. I'll have to show the other one. Lotus Esprit with the $50 super chat says, that blue number can do no wrong, which is incorrect.
And look now, first time she smiled that hard throughout the whole show. Look at her.
Do it again.
Look, fluffing her hair up and everything.
Thank you, Lotus. Love Holly. Yeah, you're absolute champion, Lotus. Thank you very much. Are you back, Donte? I can hear that scratch.
Yeah. What's up? I'm back.
So before we move on to the next topic, your thoughts on the games coming up this week, this month, and then as well. Look, I haven't added in, but October's huge. You've got Battlefield 6, Little Nightmares, Keeper, Jurassic World Evolution 3, which I'm not super interested in, Ninja Gaiden 4, Vampire Masquerade. I'm sort of, and Outer Worlds 2.
Mo agrees with Lotus. Mo
is also
in capital letters.
All caps. I was about to say.
All capital letters.
Nah, Mo, we ain't doing that, Mo. Don't encourage her, okay? We ain't doing that. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Yeah. No. I mean, to me, I think this is this has been an interestingly good year in gaming, which is really weird when I see people who some friends I know I talk to who just really feel like gaming's in a bad place, and I'm like, the industry I can understand is in a bad place, but I think gaming has been actually pretty darn good this year. There's a lot of things that I've been playing that I've enjoyed. So I don't know. I feel like we're living in two different realities, but or maybe the hobby's outgrowing a few people. But right, I mean, this next 2 to 3 months, I think is just going to be like a crazy bookend for what already started off as a really really strong year, in my opinion. And it's going to go down one of the better years in terms of releases of things that are coming out. So I'm on this embarrassment of riches kick right now, which literally I'm trying to figure out what do I get to play next, because I just downloaded Silksong. I never played the first one, so I'm going to be interested to jump into this one, and if I really really enjoy it, then I'll go back and play the first one. I still need to finish Assassin's Creed. I'm going to be playing Borderlands with Colt and Holly in the clique. Yeah, man, I think I have too many
Beautiful
games.
time for gaming.
Yeah, I think I have too many games to play right now. So I'm really looking forward to how the rest of this month, the rest of this year is going to play out.
Yeah, it's very big, very very big month. We got to move on to the next topic, which is something that came out that I haven't seen many people talking about this, and I figured that our Hooven brothers would jump on this one immediately, but I haven't really seen it. But Microsoft gave Perfect Dark's developers a chance to save the game after it was already cancelled. So the word on the street is that Crystal Dynamics and Embracer Studio wanted to shop out the game to see if they could get someone else to continue development on it. 2K were very interested, but unfortunately talks broke down after Xbox and 2K could not agree on the future of the IP. This is super disappointing. I'm a little bit pissed about this. If you're going to shut down a game and you're not going to use the IP, you haven't used the IP since, what are we talking about? The 360 days, right? It's 2 generations now, 3 generations now. You've not used the IP. You decide to use the IP, and then you go to shut down the game because I understand the length of development has been ridiculous and there's troubles that they've had. But if 2K wants to jump in, buy the IP, which is really worth, excuse my language, fuck all at the minute, and then continue the game so we actually get the game from Crystal Dynamics, I think that they should have sold up straight away. That to me,
Depends on what the
Mo's
splits were.
here we go.
Depends on what the splits were.
To me, well, I mean, if you can sell,
because I imagine they're probably saying like, we've already poured X amount of money into its development.
Yep.
And then now if we go ahead and do this, that means now we're going to have to split some revenue with 2K to allow this to happen. And we're probably coming out on the losing end of this if this thing doesn't end up being good, right?
But you don't do it, you make nothing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, here's the man. I'm gonna say this, and I may come off a little bit as a hater when it comes to this particular IP, but I don't have like this nostalgia to the Perfect Dark, where to me I felt like this game was going to have to win me over, right? When it was announced, I was kind of like, all right, cool, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like an IP that was kind of like, oh my god, finally, yes, you guys brought it back. I was willing to basically be surprised if it came out and turned out to be really really good, right? So if you hold on to it and then you make sure that you hold on to the IP and make sure that eventually when you do get someone to make the game, you actually do it justice, cool, I'll be here for that. But probably, I mean, I'm guessing that it's money and direction, right? But I know that it's been in development for 4 or 5 years. I know they didn't spend nothing on that, right? There's millions of dollars they probably poured into that, which basically they were not about to sit there and say, all right, well, cool, go ahead, 2K, and then you finish up the rest of it, and we'll make our money on the back end. I don't think that was mathing for them. So,
but getting nothing from the game is not mathing for anyone else. And then also there's the gamers that they
take L's on stuff all the time. They like, so how many games does Sony cancel? How many games does Microsoft cancel? Right? You'll just put that as a loss, right?
No. To me, if you were going to show a trailer for a game, you made a promise to the gamers that you're going to deliver on this game. This game is going to exist. This is the problem with Microsoft. And a lot of people disagree with me.
You mean like Spellbound?
Exactly. But that's not really their fault because that's a third-party developer, right? I mean, this is a third-party developer, but headed up by their first-party studio. However, if you're going to, this is the problem with Microsoft, is we come out the gate. This is what's happening. You're going to get this game. Awesome. We got this game. We talked about this game. This game is happening. It's coming. Cancel. Like, they're going to stop doing that, and it doesn't look good, Holly.
I think you're kind of overlooking maybe one of the other obvious things is that it was canceled with the initiative and the initiative was closed, right? Like or is the initiative still around?
It doesn't seem
They're
like
gone, right? They're
yeah.
gone.
That was your
right?
quadruple A studio that you were supposedly building up to
Right.
address
right.
a missing niche, right? And then you had Gallagher come in, and then a year later Gallagher leaves, right? And then someone else comes
Gallagher
in.
stayed. Gallagher stayed
No?
the entire time.
He stayed, and they claimed the rumors were that he was the problem, right? One of the bigger problems, right? But my point being, right, that sure, like that could be a whole historical study, right, on why that game didn't make it all the way to the finish line. But it probably was a sort of like half-assed effort to try to sell it off and see what happens. What can we get out of it? But they can just as easily take what was started and just plop it in another studio's court in, 2 years or 1 year or whatever, right? Like maybe the coalition is going to work on it after E-Day or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they don't have other studios that can't take the IP and absolutely knock it out of the park. So for them, it's a cost benefit analysis of, well, we could farm this one installment right out. I doubt they would just outright sell the IP, but turn over what we've got, get somebody else to just do it and take a cut of the profits, or we can just hold it and let it cook with somebody else in a year or two and finish it and keep that much more, right?
And
so it's probably
if they do that, then cool.
It's probably a cost benefit on that,
Yeah.
right?
And if they do that, cool. But like at the moment, the game's cancelled. So, and I just went like, Mo, on this one, I'm sorry, sir, you are 110% incorrect. If we allow, as gamers, and don't say anything about and kick up and critique and give them criticism for showing games, then cancelling them, then what we're going to end up with, start of every new generation, we're going to end up with trailer. Hey, we showed you a bunch of stuff. This is why you should buy our box. Oh shit, we canceled all those games.
Well, they should
adopt what the movie industry did, because the movie industry basically made a rule that said you can't show the trailer unless it's within a year of release, right? Because they were doing that where they were putting out stuff
with the game.
Right.
Yes.
So they need to basically adopt a similar rule that basically says, hey, you guys can't show the trailer unless your game's within a year of release. Mm-hmm. Something similar to that. Then that will
when we're at the finish line, then we can
that will save some frustration from the fans and
they won't
definitely the fans.
They won't get all of this pushback all the time when a game gets canceled or delayed 2 years or whatever. Like, it's fine if it gets delayed 3 months and all that, right? But like, that's just polish and you know that it's coming. They should just go the Todd Howard route and like Fallout 4 was announced and it was out within 6 months. He was mad that it wasn't like a 3-month launch window, right? Yeah. And in all reality, Silksong, I tweeted about this. It got a lot of, Silksong is a perfect example of when you have an established IP, right? That people know. It's harder with new ones. I get it. You have to do more marketing, etc., for people to understand, to want to buy it. But when it's an established IP that like a Fallout, like an Elder Scrolls, like a Silksong, like, a Gears, right? I don't need to know anything about it. And if you show it and you say the release date is 2 weeks from today or a month from today, it's going to go like gangbusters. You don't need to do hardly anything. And the fans will appreciate it more when they're suddenly surprised with this gigantic, thing that's come around. And there's enough momentum. Especially Silksong is a little bit of lightning in the bottle, right? But I mean, it's not like it's the next Expedition game is going to have a huge amount of hype following it, right? They don't need to do anything except for like a month before it comes out. By the way, Expedition 51 is, or whatever it is, right? Is out in a month, and it follows these characters, and it's going to do just fine. And people will be happy about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Mo, that's a totally different. You've shifted the goalpost. Don't shift. Bring the goalpost back to where like you show the trailer with stuff like, but with like but as long as there's a guarantee that game's coming out. Like if you show a trailer, you are making a promise. Like you don't.
Yeah,
like,
there were
people
two
get
different
this-
things happening, right? Those trailers that we were seeing were unfortunately based upon the timing where Microsoft was at, right? Because it was Xbox has no games. Xbox has no games.
I
So
agree
they
with
need
this,
to
yes.
basically show their fans, hey, we have something going, right? Even so, it was going to different studios and saying, what do you have ready that we can put together and put at the show, right? Because we need to basically give our fans something to be excited about, right? Well, now you got enough studios, so now I'm putting something out that is definitively not either going to be in the game or anywhere close to being ready. Doesn't have to be a thing. You can actually tell someone, all right, you sit there and cook longer, and when you know you're at least within a year to a year and a half out, then we'll go ahead and we'll start the ramping up the promotion on it, and we'll show something. I think you can afford to do that now that you have a bunch of studios underneath your wheelhouse, as opposed to before it was like we need to put something at these shows to get people excited about something, because right now we're in a bad position, which I think currently, which Sony is going through a little bit of right now with basically games that have gotten canceled and needing to get fans excited about something that's coming down the pipeline. So it's an industry thing. Microsoft was in their position. Sony right now is kind of taking some of what Microsoft was doing a few years ago, and they're experiencing it right now. I just now that you have the studios, maybe now hold on to the trailers until you're close to release. Now that you have the studios, right?
Yeah.
Yep. They're not in the same position.
I could give them, like I said exactly the same thing. They're in exactly that position where they didn't have any games. They were trying to sell a console coming out the door. Absolutely, I could give them that. But that's exactly what they did, right? You're saying exactly what I'm saying. Is like if the next console comes or the next PlayStation comes, because at the moment with the next PlayStation comes, there will be a narrative, especially coming from me, that there is no games. So, like, if they just start showing you a bunch of games and they cancel them, Mo, would you feel the same? Like, I would feel exactly the same. I would say, like, this is bullshit. They promised you this on the PlayStation 6, and now they're not delivering. Like, we need to stop doing that. Like, and I think we should call it out when it happens. And then if there's an opportunity to provide that game, again, if they pass the IP off to another studio and they do something with it, cool. But if they don't, and it just sits there for another 10, 20 years, and they had an opportunity to make this game and sell the IP and make some money back, I just see that as a net positive. So Holly could be right. They might have something in plans to come back and circle back around to this IP. It'd be great if they did. Umbra, we haven't heard a lot from you on the subject. How are you feeling about this Crystal Dynamics trying to get the game made with Take-Two and Xbox poo-pooing it?
Well, I thought it was funny all around when I read the article title, and I was like, wait a minute, how would they have any say on Microsoft's IP whatsoever? And then you find out more of the details where it was them, Embracer, who owns them, and trying to convince Microsoft to go along with it, which Microsoft seemed to be willing to do, provided that they continue to hold on to the IP. And once that was the case that they weren't, and Take-Two wanted the full thing for future projects and, maybe movie, whatever, and gaming IP chances or whatever, Microsoft was like, no, and took back. Now, I can't blame Microsoft for that, but what I will say is,
what has Embracer done?
Yeah, I mean,
You know
but
what I'm saying? Like, what have they shown that makes me want to trust Embracer right now to say, yeah, let's go ahead and give you something. You're going to do right by the IP.
Right. No, but this would have been Take-Two, to be fair, right? So Take-Two would have owned the IP after this situation. My thing, though, I don't think that as Kay would say, the juice was worth the squeeze. So I feel like if they were going to do this, would they get enough return for the IP? I don't think they would. And the sad part is, I don't think there's going to be anything we see from Perfect Dark in any near future. Microsoft has a ton of IP that they do not use. Let's just be real. So this going dark like this, no pun intended, there's no chance we're going to see Joanna Dark popping up in her own game I would say the next 10 years or so, right? If they close down a triple A, quadruple A, as the whole thing was a misnomer studio in the initiative, after spending millions to form that, and then having development hell for this game, the chances of them doing that and saying, "Hey, let's fund another one for this game,"
It's
are
pretty
pretty
low.
slim to none. Yeah. So I that's the unfortunate part. So you would think, well, Microsoft, you're not going to do anything with the IP. Sell it off to 2K or
It
Take Two,
depends
should I
though.
say?
It might not have been the game itself that was in development hell. It might have been just what the continuation of the poor, like the mismanagement or the you know like the lack of establishing a good team, that they clearly had for years, right? They just
Well, they
really
had Crystal
struggled.
Dynamics. That's why they brought Crystal Dynamics in. So they had the
Which is a
team.
very
Yeah,
good
but
team.
Yeah, and they're working on
yes,
Tomb
but
Raider now.
they weren't the sole, you know what I mean? Like they were still reporting back to the initiative, right? And
Yeah, they
being
weren't
like,
leading
here's
the.
what we're doing. And yeah, so I'm just saying it
That's
might
that
not
to me is a.
purely be that it's just there were problems with the game. It might have
So
been
the
a lot of
reports are that they were in still pre-production, and
Mhm.
after years after announcing it, I
Wait,
would say that's development
what?
hell.
Wait, what? Because
Yeah,
I'm sorry, we saw that game. Risky, was it the year that I met you in LA?
It was
Was it the first?
2020, and then they showed a little bit more. I think 2021 or 2022.
All right, so
One of the.
that's 5 years, and
hmm
you're still in pre-production.
yeah. And the reason you can look that up yourself, because I remember seeing notifications like, "Oh, we're still hiring post for this," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, huh? Where are you at in development?" Same thing with Fable. When I saw that, and I'm like, because if you remember Risk, I was like, Fable, oh, that could come out. I said that like a year or so back. Like, oh, Fable could come out. Maybe it's this year. And then, and I think you all kind of brought me back down to earth and was like, well, no, because it had this situation. They're hiring for this, and I was like, oh shit, you're right. And I had to look at that and say, yeah, they're not as far in development as I would have thought or hoped, right? And then when you look at Fable, you can see why it's a lot to probably do for that quality of what they're going to give. But the same relies here. If you don't have the proper, and I will say, yeah, I'm sure it's mismanagement in some ways, but then my man who ran them before, he ran Crystal Dynamics with them, so it's not like he's not used to that team. So I don't know. It's all types of issues that apparently happen with this, a conflagration of whatever you want to call it, of bad issues that happen. For whatever the case, the unfortunate thing is that Perfect Dark, we won't be seeing it anytime soon. And I agree with you, Riskit. On the what Mo was saying, if they show a trailer for that and they're working on this game, that is a promise. They're saying, hey, this is what we got coming. This is what we got cooking for you. We can't write that off like, well, that didn't matter. Like, you wouldn't give that type of leeway to Sony if they did it. You can't do it for Microsoft here in this case, right? Or Nintendo or whatever. If they're showing that and we notice what they're working on, yeah, and if it's canceled eventually, we got to say, yeah, what happened? We got to raise some questions. I wouldn't hand wave it at the very least. We saw the whole situation even with what's the name of that damn dragon game with Platinum that was working on it?
Scalebound.
Please don't.
Scalebound. Now that was more Platinum that pulled some nonsense, to be fair. But
We need more money.
Right. We need more money that we
dog.
move from your project to other games.
Hey, dog, we need a little bit more. Slide us a little bit more.
Slide us a little bit.
Needs
Let me
about
get that out you.
We need about 50K more.
Let me get that out you.
That tree
150K more.
But I mean, slightly different, but the same. Which is why the when PlayStation canceled these games, like, it's not great. They canceled 13, and there's rumors of them, but you can't hold them to account because they're not coming out going, hey, we've got all this. I mean, they did say we've got this many games coming before whatever, blah, blah, blah. So there's a little bit of smoke you can give there. And we gave them all that smoke for saying that. You can't then not give Xbox smoke for canceling a game they showed.
I don't think nobody gave them a pass, right? We all gave them smoke for canceling games just the same way as we gave PlayStation smoke for canceling games.
Well,
But
we
also,
here on the panel did. But
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
as you see, some didn't.
specifically us.
Yeah, right. But
Hang
even
on,
if
let me just
yeah.
put it in the chat. Hang on, I'll put it in the chat. Yeah, there we go. We did.
Make me think of DJ
Exactly.
Khaled.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, all caps.
Exactly.
Makes me think of DJ Khaled. God did.
But look, as well, it's just disappointing to like if they don't bring out. This is the thing. We're like talking about a what if. What if they do bring out another Perfect Dark? Well, then great. But at the moment, what we know is they canceled a game. They had an opportunity to bring that game to market, and because they couldn't agree on the color of shit, because they couldn't agree on the ownership of the IP, they decided that they would just cancel the entire game. So I mean, monetarily wise, to me, it doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't make sense. The only thing that does make sense is Holly saying they've got plans for it down the line, and Umbra, I agree, that's also extremely unlikely. But otherwise, again, it's another thing that Microsoft's done that to me doesn't make any sense at all. I'd be like, yeah, let's get rid of that IP. We're losing one IP that we haven't done anything with. Now we can make some money off it, bring a game to market. We can still end up being the heroes, a little bit. Like, hey, we wanted to bring this game to market. It didn't make sense for us to do it. Here you go, gamers. A promise that we made. Albeit come from a different company. And Crystal Dynamics is absolutely amazing and all that stuff. But that's just my take. And I'm sure a lot of people will disagree, but if PlayStation did it, would you disagree? I mean, that's a litmus test you got to give yourself. If PlayStation did this, would I disagree? Speaking of PlayStation, before we go to the next topic, please hit like button, share us out. We go live 8 p.m. EST every second-ish Friday, depending on how I'm feeling at the moment. Helldivers 2 is outsold PlayStation. After just 6 days on Xbox, Helldivers 2 sold around about 926, just shy of 1 million copies. That's around about 50% more in that 6 days as what it sold on PlayStation 5. So when Helldivers first came out on PlayStation, it sold around about 633 copies in its first 6 days. This is an amazing result. And where do we go from here? It's looking really, really good. There's a few caveats here, but I won't throw them in. I'll let the team jump in on the caveats because I'm sure you guys have got some caveats, some rational, level-headed takes. But I gotta say, seems like Xbox gamers do buy games. What the hell's going on there? PlayStation guys, you don't buying your own games? What's happening? What's happening, Seawolf Swim? You can't buy a game? Huh? Reach in your pocket, support the devs? What's going on over there? Sorry. Just doing a little bit of a victory lap. Anyway, I want to go to my my Xbox gamer who buys lots of games on a regular basis as opposed to a PlayStation gamer who wouldn't. Donte.
Yep.
How you feeling?
Yep. I double dip, baby. What's up? I double dip. Hey, listen. I'm just gonna equate this to something simple. It boils down to the fact that a good fun game, especially a good fun co-op game, is gonna sell. All right, that's what it boils down to. When Helldivers released on PlayStation, we even sat there and said like, "Yo, this would be a game that if ever there were a game that should be cross-platform that we feel both camps would be interested in, it would have been that game." We said that then.
But you said a fun game.
It is. We're not playing it because it's not fun, Holly. Okay, I get it. You don't like it, but we're not playing it because it's not fun. Okay, so what is bothering me about this is the people who are like taking this as a moment of like, oh, finally Xbox players have a good game worth playing. Like, stop, man. Xbox has been releasing a ton of games over the last couple of years. It's actually PlayStation who seems to be struggling a little bit with the releases of some of their games. So like, worry about your own camp and don't don't play that angle with me about, oh, Xbox gamers finally got a good game to play. We've had a lot of good games to play recently, and a lot of the games that we have, you guys are now playing on your side according to your sales charts. So I don't want to hear none of that nonsense. I'm just happy that we're at a point where basically we have gamers from both camps who are actually teaming up together, because PlayStation guys who I know are helping out Xbox guys who are new playing Helldivers and like, adding them as friends, chirping them along and stuff, taking them through the levels, showing them how to play the game. And Xbox players are basically sounding the call to come in and actually basically helping these regions that, because the game obviously tells you like where the main objectives are, right? We're like, we really need help and stuff. And Xbox players have been basically pushing that over. So I'm happy to see, like, to me, this is what gaming should be about. You got these two camps that have been at war with each other for forever. And it takes just a good game for everybody to come together and say, we actually enjoy the hobby more so than basically the mudslinging. So I don't care about the other noise. You guys can kick rocks. Xbox gamers buy games. Maybe PlayStation guys buy a certain type of game if that's the reason for the sales. Maybe they weren't completely sold on what Helldivers was going to be until it came out, and then the word of mouth spread, and then that's when it started to take off on the PlayStation side. But for one standpoint, I might think of it as maybe they prefer single player narrative driven games as opposed to, this game was basically a multiplayer co-op shooter, right? And that's something that Xbox has done for decades and has done it well. So maybe that's the difference as to why so many Xbox players, if that number is true, I'm curious to see like some more data behind it. But if that number is true, and it's almost 1 million bought on Xbox in that first week or so compared to what PlayStation's numbers are, I'm going to equate that to just the type of games that we enjoy, that it took them a little while to kind of come around to once they start seeing, hey, wait a second, this is actually kind of fun. Maybe not our normal thing that PlayStation gives us, but this is actually kind of fun. And then finally it started to take off on the PlayStation side. So that's my take on this. What you got?
Holly, you want to go?
Ask me the question again.
What was the question exactly? I think it was about Helldivers 2 success on it was about Helldivers 2 success on Xbox, allegedly selling nearly 1 million copies. And your thoughts on that?
You can skip me on
Helldivers.
I'll do it.
She's so disgusted with that game.
I'm not saying anything mean. I'm just saying you can skip me on Helldivers.
You'll probably come back in a minute.
Yeah, it's all good.
Good for everybody who's joining, who's enjoying it. Really, the thing they should have done is they should have made it very clear, because I think some people who bought the game did not realize that the Halo skins were an extra $20 on top of purchasing the game and still having to play the hours to unlock all of the war bonds, right? Like, you might have known you had to play to unlock the war bonds, but you might not have realized that you had to pay an extra, I think it was 20 to buy the pack, right?
I think it's 15. Close though, but yeah, I think it's about 15. Still expensive as hell, relatively, for microtransactions. Yeah. But either way, I'm with you on that, and you do have to earn it. Maybe they need to probably fix that. If I pay for it, give me all of my stuff right then and there, right? But that said, the whole thing is this is being questioned on this team having these supposed numbers and things like that, and people are like doubting it. And I've seen a lot of our hooved brothers out there like, now Xbox want to believe the numbers here. I don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. The same people who were championing these people using the numbers of sales for Final Fantasy 16 on PlayStation are now trying to retroactively say, well, the Xbox denied this back then, and now you're saying they're reliable for this. Well, you all co-signed it back then for that. Now you're saying it's unreliable for this. You see how stupid console warring is? So which is it, right? It's clearly has been a success on Xbox. I mean, we see it in the reaction of concurrent players that bumped up with it. We see it with, hell, I can see it just at least anecdotally, just from people who I've seen on my friends list, which I have a good 100 or so, or 200 or so rather, that are all on it and asking me to jump in a game with them, because the game is that good. And sure, it did take some time for it to gain an audience. It's a skill issue for those that don't quite like it. Yeah, it is what it is. It don't you say a word. I saw you. She's about to say something negative.
I can see it killing her. She's just
look at her. She's like, ugh. We still talking about this?
I guess it's fine. It's okay if you're into that type of thing.
I want to spread managed democracy.
Right. How about a nice cup of liberty? Huh?
A cup of liberty. Right. Oh my god, that game is 100% fire. I love the game. I bought it twice. By the way, Seawolf Swim, I bought it twice. I bought it once on PlayStation to support the developers over there, and then I bought it again on Xbox to support the developers over here. Yes, I did buy Mafia, and yes, I probably buy more games than most people, because I'm a nerd. But this to me, just like if the numbers are true, it shows that Xbox gamers do buy games, and it just depends on the type of game. And another narrative that we've seen get destroyed with this is that, or one of the narratives that came up off the back of this is that Xbox gamers don't. Are you eating an olive? Was that shaken, not stirred? We need to get into that. But
They're cherries. They're cherries.
Oh, right. Okay. But the other narrative is that Xbox gamers don't finish games, and I crunched the numbers on that just to double check, and I did this in my break at work, and I spent my entire break crunching the numbers to see using achievements on is it what are the two achievement sites that you run to that has all the achievements?
And, achievementhunter.com. Yeah.
So I tracked them all, and then I broke them down to like completion of game, not the platinums or the the 1,000 gamer score. And it actually turns out there's a 5% difference. It is in favor of PlayStation. However, when you put Game Pass into the mix, that count of people finishing games, the count is done on if someone gets the first achievement, and quite often the first achievement pops up in the first, the initial stages of a game. It's pretty rare you don't get one within the first 10 minutes, right, or the first half an hour. And then if you put the game down after that, then that counts that as an unfinished game. So technically, I mean, I would say that Game Pass has that 5% effect, which is fair if people want to use that. But like Game Pass means that you can try games, and if you don't like them, you don't play them. This just says to me that Helldivers is a fantastic game, deserves to sell this amount of copies. The other thing that I'll give as a caveat as well is that I think you raised this earlier on, Donte, is that it was an fairly unknown IP. It was the second. It was a totally different to the first, and people weren't exactly sure how this was going to go. So obviously the numbers didn't jump straight off the bat, and it eventually picked up a bunch of players on Steam and both on PlayStation. So. Yeah, I give them that, and Xbox gamers saw this game and was like, "That is our game. This is something for us." This is why Holly's on PC now.
And it didn't hurt for them to drop the ODST thing in there, right? So
100%.
Yeah,
that helped a
smart
lot.
marketing.
Yeah,
That's smart marketing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to me, this is like this ties into one of the other topics that we've got as well. So I'll throw this in the mix as well. Is that Gears hitting PlayStation? The reported sales are 259,000. They didn't even hit 500,000 on Xbox. There's been 1.3 million downloads from the on Xbox, and that's not just from Game Pass, because I think the way that Microsoft boosted the numbers, like, hey, if you bought Ultimate, this is exactly the same game, so we'll give it to you for free. Plus, this boosts our numbers. Yay! And I get a whole bunch of new achievements because I played with Monads, which I appreciate. But what does this mean, like, going down the track? For me, Xbox is testing the waters with the games that they're going to bring to PlayStation. Forza was super successful. They sold millions. Helldivers, super successful on PlayStation, on Xbox. And then PlayStation's probably going to test the waters on this. So what do they test the waters next with? And does this mean as well, there is a platinum trophy at the end of Gears for PlayStation gamers if you guys got the platinum. And I just have to quickly run down and see what it says. Platinum trophy called Nothing Left, and it says your adventure is over for now. Does this mean, do they still try to keep pushing the Gears with the Gears E3 on PlayStation? Does PlayStation start to look at their older IP, like the God of War, and go, you know what, let's try this single player out and see if this works on Xbox as well? Are we seeing a complete breaking down of exclusives here? Am I going to have to lose my shit again about E-Day? Like, what's going on? Yeah, what's wrong, Mo? Do you think it's a good idea to put E-Day on PlayStation? I'm curious what Mo thinks. Holly, I'm going to jump to you because I know you're not like super into the whole Helldivers thing. But where do you think they go with Gears, like Xbox on PlayStation? Do you think PlayStation brings more of their first parties to Xbox? Like, where do you think this is leading?
I mean, I feel like I've been saying for at least a year now that it's very clear that all of the Xbox games are going to PlayStation. I thought that was kind of like a known
Untrue.
quantity among everyone.
Untrue.
Absolutely. They're going to send every game they absolutely can, which is all of them, to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Okay. as far as PlayStation sending games to Xbox, I don't think. I mean, it's all purely speculation at this point, right? I think that people are jumping way too high on the horse about this means that PlayStation games are coming to Xbox in the future, even old ones. I don't think that's really what's. I I don't think that that is necessarily the path that we're headed down. Maybe multiplayer games that they've come to realize, maybe after Concord and some others, that they probably do need to have some success on Xbox. They'll probably still be exclusive on PlayStation until they see that player number trail off and then pop it over to everyone. If they're what I think, obviously I have no idea, right? But what I would expect to see is that PlayStation shorten their PC port time frame post console launch, and that they are just preparing that their games will be played on the next X Steam box thing. So they know that if you are able to access Steam on your console, that you will be able to access PlayStation games. So I think that that's where they are headed. I think that they are acknowledging that. I don't think they're going to try to do any sort of blocking thing, because that would be ridiculous, because it's a whole 35 or whatever, however many people, right, are on Xbox. And also, I think they're fine with that, and I think they will shorten up that time period, or that PC window frame, to maybe 6 months, 3 months, maybe sometimes, depending on what it is, but there's always gonna be that window of delay to PC, at least for a while, right? And understanding fully that they know in the next generation that Xbox owners are PC owners, so that they will also be playing their games at the same time as the PC people. That's what I think.
I generally think that Wolverine will be day and date on PC, but I'm curious to see what happens. Umbra, what do you think this means from a PC master race standpoint?
Yes, the enlightened. What do you mean as far as Sony bringing more games over, things of that nature?
Well, I mean, it doesn't look like Xbox made the sales with Gears, but they made the sales with Forza. What's the cost?
Forza, Doom, Elder Scrolls. I mean, there's quite a bit, right?
Mhm.
There's quite a bit of that top 10, right? Right? Wasn't just so we can't just say like, oh well, Gears didn't do what Helldivers did, and yet ignore all the other games that were in the
Yes,
top
we
10.
can. That's exactly what we're doing. Stop.
No, we
Don't
can't.
be raining on my parade.
We can't do that. We gotta keep it real. We gotta keep it a buck.
What we're going to do here is what I'm saying is that exclusives aren't working on PlayStation going from Xbox, but the other way it's working. So Xbox should stop bringing their exclusives to PlayStation. PlayStation should bring all of their exclusives to Xbox. That's what I'm saying. No. That's not at all what I'm saying, but I can see how people would think that that's what I'm getting at. But I feel I guess what I'm getting at a number, and I guess the riff off is, I think they're going to be careful or a little bit more selective about what they bring over and what works on that platform. And I think they're just both testing the waters to see what works on that platform. Now, Xbox has done this with, as Donte pointed out, with a whole bunch of different games. And they've got some metrics and some data, the famous 4 games. They've got some metrics and some data about what works, what's not working, and what's worth the port and what's not worth the port. But PlayStation doesn't. And I guess the question is, do we feel like PlayStation's going to start gathering more of that data with more of their games to see what works over on Xbox and what doesn't?
Yeah, I would bet so. I'm sure some are delusional enough to think, oh, it'll just be this. I feel like we're seeing one of them in the chat now. But I feel like the thing is, this was mentioned on the show with us too, Holly, and he was like, well, they'll bring over more multiplayer games. Then I had to think about it. I'm like, what multiplayer games? So he doesn't have much.
They still have some in development. they've
Well, they
canceled
don't
a
have
lot, but
anything
we
that's
still have
current to
some.
bring over, right? And
Which
and the one
one?
future ones like Marathon and such, we already knew those were coming over.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
that's a foregone conclusion for like Marathon. Fair
The
Games is
fair
very likely to be
games.
closed. I have
Yeah.
no doubt in my mind that game is canceled. It's just not announced yet.
Immediately.
You lost both Jade Raymond and the game director. Nah, that game is over with. And she was the founder of that studio, mind you. So
Right.
yeah, that game is done for. They just haven't found a way to come out and say it. That's what I would imagine. Though to be fair, they did put a lot of money into it after they got them, so maybe they want to try to salvage it by getting it out there. We'll see. But I remember Concord, and Concord looked far better than Fair Games, and that lasted 2 weeks, not even fully 2 weeks. So if you ask me, Fair Games is not going to have a fair shake. It's going to, you see how I turned the phrase. But yeah, so I think that Marathon is looking shady too right now. It's looking bad for them. So what other games can they bring over when you really think about it to try to gain any more success? The games that make the most sense would be as Mag, shout out to Mag who pointed out the Returnal. That makes a lot of sense. It's a smaller
Right.
game. They didn't
Yeah.
sell that crazy on PlayStation with it. That makes sense. Spider-Man makes way too much sense. It's not, Sony does not own the IP, and Disney is asking for so much to use that license. Yeah, what better way than to recoup a lot of that money and continue, feeding Insomniac than to put it everywhere and get all the sales you can, right? I don't see a downside for that for Sony. That's more of an upside for them because they have to pay so much over to Disney now because Disney wants a larger stake, as we saw in the leaked files from Insomniac when they got hacked. So that makes a ton of sense. And then, you look at other games that they can possibly push out there from older games that they have, possibly God of War, possibly. I can see that. Uncharted series, Last of Us, which they've remastered so many times. Why not put that out there, right?
Why
They
not
seem to want to.
Take 5 remaster? Take 5.
Exactly. The Xbox master version, and I mean, and Horizon seems to be another one of their like projects that they push everywhere. We've seen the Lego project that failed. That might be the next one, I would imagine. So I would look at, if I had to look at the next 2, maybe 3, it would be Returnal, it would be Horizon Lego, and it would be Spider-Man. That's what I would think, and then they would go from there. It's going to do much like Microsoft did with like, here we're going to put Pentiment over here and all that, right? And we're going to put Hi-Fi Rush over there, and we're going to put Sea of Thieves to test the waters. Totoki and Mike and Sony has been fairly clear in corpo speak that that's what they're doing anyway. I don't know why anyone is still in denial. Like they're very clearly trying to go multi-plat. And again, even if they don't, I keep saying this because I think some people have a hope, and I'm thinking it's more of our Hoove brothers who have this hope that that won't happen and that Sony will somehow block things. It's just get that out of your head. Even if Microsoft doesn't make a deal with Sony or Sony doesn't decide to bring their games over on their own, you still will get access to them by buying it off Steam or whatever and playing it through your Xbox next gen. It's coming over one way or another, right? So that's the thing I look at, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Even like if Sony could get ahead of it and sell it themselves, that would give them a bigger, maybe a bigger, slice of the pie, so to speak, right? But the game is coming. The games are coming over to Xbox one way or another anyway. So why
Exactly.
why wait?
Why not
If
embrace
I'm
it
Sony,
and
get it out there
have
now.
a better chance of because like to me like that coordination to do like the Halo stuff for the Helldivers release, that's a way to entice the Xbox player to be like, oh, okay, cool. There's something Halo kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like even if it's cosmetic, there's something related here that I can also get interested in, and I already am a fan of ODST. So that like you don't get that if you just let the game become available because someone can purchase it through the game that plays PC games, right? You don't get that. It's just kind of like, okay, I can, either I bought it on PC or I didn't, right? But this one is a marketing push where you actually can entice people to it. So you should do that for your other games too, that you're planning on bringing over, versus just let the next Xbox come out that has the ability to tap into like a PC storefront, and then I don't think you would get as much. You know what I'm saying? Compared to actually pushing
Yeah.
it a little bit and coming up with these kind of like, joint deals and stuff and joint marketing.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. So we'll see how it works out. I mean, like I said, if I had to put money on it, Returnal does make a lot of sense. I know Mag is particularly sold on that from his source, or whatever.
Now it's
So,
co-op, so that's the other thing. Sort of makes sense, like from a PlayStation perspective, as Helldivers has done so well. If they were holding Returnal, I mean, that's the first I've heard of that, or maybe that came up a while ago and I've forgotten. But like that makes the most sense to me is putting Returnal over there, because that's co-op. That's something that we know Xbox players like. We've got the metrics for that, for them playing a co-op game. There could be a live service element they could add to that game. Plus, they've also got Housemarque making another game. Maybe that's co-op. Maybe that's got something to it as well. And I haven't played that game co-op, so
I forgot that you got to have a story mode like co-op for that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, which is absolutely. I mean, I haven't played it in co-op. When it first released, it didn't have it. And I never finished the game because I didn't want to buy it, because I didn't want to support developers on PlayStation. Because I don't think that we should reward bad behavior. No, I'm kidding. I didn't buy the game because Xbox players are we're known to not buy a game. No, I'm kidding again. No, it wasn't like there was a lot happening at the time. I would love to go back and play that on Xbox and complete the game and get my achievements. That is something that actually, I owned a PlayStation, but that is something I liked. I kind of feel like I'm losing something when I'm not getting achievements on my Xbox, right? So, yeah, and that's obviously designed that way to do that. So, yeah. But I think we see PlayStation start to look at games more strategically about what they will bring over. And I also think Xbox should start looking a little bit more strategically on what they are and aren't bringing over. I think Avowed should go. It's a bit strange that it hasn't gone. I think that game would do fantastic. And then, of course, we'd see the big the backflip going from, Avowed's trash to Avowed's amazing. And it really was a great game. I really enjoyed it. So I think they should get a little bit more strategic with what games they bring over. And it doesn't seem like the PlayStation guys are getting into this sort of co-op stuff. Doesn't seem to be their bag. There's obviously a community over there that does, but it doesn't really seem to be their bag. So I think they should focus on those single player narratives. I really want to do that slurp noise whenever you crack a tinny, Holly, but I won't. Because someone in the chat was ribbing me for weeks, like, stop doing it, it's disgusting.
I remember that.
He was
leaving messages on the videos and stuff in the chat. He's all,
stop doing that. And I'm like,
whoever's doing that slurping noise is making the show
really
unwatchable.
Loud. I think it's Umbra.
It's making the show unwatchable. Stop it.
Yeah, those things are distracting me.
I think I still. Yeah, there it is. Still got it. I just haven't used it.
I don't miss it. I
don't want to.
We don't miss it. We don't miss it. We don't miss it.
I thought it was good. I liked it. Yeah. Look, we do have one more topic. This is something else again that I find strange that I'm not seeing come up on the Twitters, because I thought our hoofed brethren would be all over this like a fat kid on a cupcake. And if anyone is a fat kid in the chat that eats cupcakes, that is not directed at you. And obviously the panel, infinite ideas, not the same as Riskit idea, that stuff, disclaimer. However, hit the like button, share us out. We go live 8 p.m. EST every Friday. And shout out to Lotus Esprit, who just showed up, everyone hiding in the chat, and gifted 10 Riskit for the Biscuit memberships. Really appreciate you, Lotus. You are an absolute legend. Please do shout out and say thank you if you were gifted. And I noticed that Noise Mofo did shout out to Lotus. So really appreciate when guys do that stuff. I won't call everyone out, but please, give them a thank you in the chat. It's amazing that they support us like that. So former boss of Bethesda, Pete Hines. Former boss of Bethesda, Pete Hines, salutations, has strong words about subscription services in games. And I did have this highlighted, but this is his exact quote. Subscriptions have become the new 4-letter word, right? You can't buy a product anymore. When you talk about subscriptions that rely on content, if you don't figure out how to balance the needs of the service and the people running the service with the people who are providing the content, without which your subscription is worth jack shit, then you have a real problem, he said. He went on to say, because they're fitting into an ecosystem that's not properly valuing or rewarding what they're making, which was sort of his focus there. He said that there's tensions between the platform holders and the game makers. And one of the other quotes was, "It's hurting a lot of people." I don't know.
Let me ask a question here. All right. Because like PlayStation Plus doesn't have a day and date release thing, right? You know, they'll put games in there and cycle them through, right? But there's not a day and date situation, right? But as a whole, there's been a concern about studios not selling enough copies of their games, especially for the last couple of years, to turn a profit, right? That where it's properly sustainable, right? Because we'll see stories about, oh, this game sold 5 million or 10 million, and yet the studio felt that was underperforming, whatever the case is, right? So
that is correct.
So if you get this, the largest video game company, console game company, has the largest player base, and still people who are just purchasing the games outright aren't able to buy or not willing to buy them enough to offset whatever people on the Xbox side are getting. Because it's not like if Xbox has, you know, I'm going to exclude PC gaming. I'm just going to just do console. Let's just say Series X, Series S. Let's say it's 30 some odd million. Not all of that is people subscribe to Game Pass, right? There's what do you think? Maybe 15, 20% maybe are Game Pass subscribers of that particular number?
I'd say that number is much, much higher, but yep.
Okay. So let's say 20, 30, 40%, you think? I don't know if it's half. You think half?
I'd say higher. I'd say higher than half.
Subscribe to, okay. All right. Because I think the majority of that is from both from the PC side and then another
they hit 20 million before they
on console.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you have this large player base on the PlayStation side who can purchase games outright, but yet the companies are still not being able to sell games at the clip that they want to sell them. And Game Pass is doing nothing to impact that. Nothing at all. Even on Xbox side, if you want a game that is not, every game is not going to be released in Game Pass, you can just go up flat out and buy it. So I'm having a hard time understanding it feels like Game Pass is the boogie monster when it comes to the gaming industry, where it's kind of like, oh, I get it. It has its faults. It has some concerns and risks that needs to be looked at. But what about everybody else who can purchase games between PlayStation and people who aren't sub to Game Pass? And games yet still are not selling so much because a lot of them are overpriced, or maybe they're not as good. So what am I missing here? Why is subscription service with Game Pass the boogeyman?
What I'm picking up from what you're saying is, if I was to boil it down to a single line, is PlayStation gamers don't buy games.
I'm not. You're not going to get me into this, okay? They're not going to come at me. I'm not saying that, you guys, okay? But I'm just saying, like, nothing is stopping everyone else from purchasing games, and every game is not released into Game Pass. It's an option. So what? Right. So like, unless he comes out and tells me that somehow Microsoft is strong arming these companies to put their games into Game Pass, and they don't want to do it,
right?
Then I'm confused as to why this comes up for people who leave, like, you know, they leave after the fact, and then they're like, because, you know, you hear it from the old dude who used to run PlayStation, right? He has this gripe with Game Pass and subscription model. You hear it from
he's a legend of the industry.
Right, yeah. Exactly. So it's like you hear these certain execs come out and say these things after the fact, and I want someone to show me why they're the boogeyman.
Well, he was talking, I think, more in regards to first party being forced to put their games into. You know, I feel like there's some resentment.
But they're first party. They're owned by the actual company with the service. Like, they're getting paid either way. Like, it's not like the employees are only getting paid by the number of copies that are sold.
Unless you're telling me they're being cut out of some type of incentive. Like, if if it wasn't going into a subscription service and it was just based off of like, yeah, here's your hourly rate, salary, or whatever the case is. And by the way, if we hit these metrics, there are these bonus payouts or whatever the case is, and we're not able to get those through the subscription model and whatever we do in sales. That's the
But then
like if
don't
you
you
show me
think
that, then you have
if
a point.
that's the case, though, you would have seen every single studio unionize or sue Microsoft for a lack of back pay that they would have received.
See, so again, I'm trying to understand their point, right? Because it seems to me that he feels like we were forced to have to put games like Starfield and Doom
Well,
and
don't
etc.
forget, he
into Game
left.
Pass.
He
And
left like right after they were
Starfield launched.
purchased.
yeah,
right?
I get it.
Yeah, basically, right? And I, I mean, Bethesda.
I mean, he did say some dumb stuff in the.
I
in the
really
court
like
case.
Uncle Pete, right? So I
love Pete.
don't like picking on him at all, and I think he's a great guy and he's super smart. But Bethesda was in financial trouble. Let's not forget, right? Like they had a lot of issues, and which we found out when Microsoft wound up laying off two of the studios under the Bethesda banner later on, right? Even more so than we thought before. So like I think they were bought out, and I think that there's some sentimental thoughts around the glory years of Bethesda, from 2000 to 2016 or something like that, right? Where
Yeah.
they were really rocking and rolling. And they still are kings in the industry. Don't get me wrong, right? But they've created some of the most hallowed, stories and games of gaming, period, full stop. And so, and these guys were all through that generation, right? And in the meantime, the industry's changed. And not just with Game Pass, right? But in all of these other ways, the industry has changed. And the way people work changed. What people want has changed. The market is flooded with all these new games and all these new game types, right? And so I think it was hard for them to be to the point where they were in financial straits and needed to be purchased. And then there's also always, no matter how much you're happy to be merged with a new company, there's always growing pains, right?
Yeah.
And now they had an
It's a different
overlord.
culture that you have to kind of acclimate to. I get it.
Yes. And they have an overlord now, and they never had an overlord before, right? So I think it was just a lot. It was just a lot for them, right? And I'm
Yeah,
talking
and-
about, some of those
and-
those Hallmark employees.
Yeah. I get
On
it.
top of that, at that
I'm just-
time, there was also the they had to be exclusive, and seems like Uncle Pete didn't
Pete
want to be
didn't like that.
exclusive because there was another game that wasn't exclusive, and they're like, "Whoa, so we have to be exclusive?" I think there was some back and forth, and
and
that
now that
happens.
doesn't matter. Now that doesn't matter. Pete, you end up getting
Right.
your way, right? Like now you guys aren't going to be exclusive. Your games will eventually go over to PlayStation as well. So
You know-
you end up getting your way at the end
That's
of the
right,
day.
actually. You know what? Fuck you, Pete. I don't like you anymore. You're probably one of the reasons that happened. So, like, you kiss my ass. Pete's rough. No, Pete was lovely. I actually have
Pete's
met
awesome.
Pete and had a good
Yeah,
chat to him, and he is a good dude. So, like, Pete, if you're watching, which you probably never will, but I apologize a little bit. Fuck you. Look, I know, Umbra, I haven't got to you, but I want to get to this next topic before we shut it down, because we're getting close to the end of the show. But this one has to be brought up. It has to be discussed, and I think this is in Umbra's wheelhouse. So I definitely want to bring this up and let Umbra get his bars off, and then we'll let everyone else tear that down if that's what's going to happen. I'm not sure. But hit the like button, share us out. We go live 8 p.m. EST every Friday-ish. So Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Tim Sweeney, in an interview came out and said, I won't go through the entire thing, but he's when questioned about the stuttering issues and the performance issues of UE5, Tim said performance issues in Unreal Engine 5 based games are primarily the fault of developers, which is a bold move, I must say. It was a very bold move to come out and blame the devs. I mean, I like it. I like the boldness. He said, not the engine itself, because many developers optimize for high-end hardware first and only address the lower spec systems in the final stage of the development. A practice Sweeney believes should be reversed to an earlier, more integrated approach. He suggested that developers should aim for lower spec hardware from the outset of development and then target higher tiered hardware later, ensuring a smoother gameplay across a wider range of devices. Before you go, Umbra, I'm going to let you go, but I don't disagree with what he's saying. That is the best way to develop. You bottom up and then set a top down. But Umbra, your thoughts on what Tim Sweeney has
Well,
said here?
naturally, I agree with him 100% wholeheartedly.
I knew it.
I need the
Naturally.
cha-ching. I need the cha-ching, like cha-ching.
You know,
My bad. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
naturally, Tim Sweeney is preaching the gospel. How long have I been saying this, mind you? This is funny. I've been saying this well before Tim Sweeney came out and said this. If you all recall, I'm like, it's devs the issue. They're not utilizing the the engine properly.
You've been saying the company line since before it came out.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
He's not been saying the company line. He is the company.
He is
All right.
the company.
I have been saying this for so long. I think Tim Sweeney and them owe me a bag. I'm just going to be honest. But I think he's right, honestly, in a lot of ways. I think that the way he's talking about, because the primary development way to use it, we all know the Unreal Engine allows for a way increased productivity of the games, right? Like you can get them out quicker, typically things of that nature. And possibly because of that, there's a way that they handle doing that it's not conducive to getting the best out of the engine. And you know what I mean? They prioritize certain things first. So they look for the high end hardware and they don't optimize correctly. I think that's fairly true, because you'd see most of the games that typically have struggles, they kind of they're like forcing it through, like, oh, this is a powerful engine that can do everything I need. Here you go. And then we see some, issues with it because of that. Now, some engines may be able to be used more bluntly, I guess, like that, and it works. But Unreal is possibly it's one of those engines that I think need more fine tuning. You look at somebody like a Coalition. We don't see these issues with Coalition typically when they do what they do.
Finesse it.
Right? Yeah.
It's an engine of finesse and technical skill.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
now, Reloaded, of course, is a prime example of a mishandling of the Unreal Engine. All right. When I saw
From the guys who actually helped Epic build the actual engine and made the demo they're the ones that botched it. Don't think
you
so,
were just
bro.
waiting.
Wait. So
you were
wait,
just
don't
waiting for that.
think
are they
so,
fully
bro.
behind Reloaded, or did they
It was another team.
partner with someone else, right? Because
Yeah, it was another team, I
not
believe.
necessarily this coalition, right?
Yeah,
It
it wasn't
was
Coalition themselves, right?
It was Virtuous or something.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm gonna put that blame on Virtuous.
See, Donte knows.
Coalition still QA QC'd it. It's under
I
their
get
name.
it. I get it, but they're probably busy with E-Day.
Yeah.
Right?
Holly.
Yeah.
How
You
dare
got
you
other
try to
stuff
push
going
this
on,
blame
right?
on the coalition?
Yeah, they're probably busy with E-Day, Holly.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming it on them. I'm blaming it on UE5. I'm saying if the studio,
That's even worse.
Tim Sweeney and Coalition actually built that engine together. They built the tech demo.
And
It's
it worked
not
fine when you used it.
Coalition. It's not the Coalition.
Yeah. It's funny how the coalition just happens to get it right. Most everyone else is fumbling and failing. What does that tell you? They know what to
There's a
do.
problem with an engine.
No, it
Because
tells me
if that
that-
many
need a
people
testify
keep
button.
getting problems with
I mean, it
then
is still
that's-
relatively young, though. Some of these engines have been
they're on
around
like
for
5.6.
Yeah,
They're on
but I
like
mean, that's still
0.6.
relatively young compared to some engines that have been around for decades.
Right?
Lotus
It's
is
like
right.
five.
It's still
You can wait till we get to
Lotus
5.50.
It's just a baby. Just a baby.
I just don't understand Holly's need to try to tear down Unreal Engine. I don't like. You got something against
Look,
Unreal, Holly?
No, I don't. I like it's an evil corporate empire, blah blah blah, right? I don't care what people say. I like Epic. I think they're a really interesting company. I think Tim Sweeney is doing a lot of really interesting things as far as like how he's like attacking businesses and stuff. I think all of it's actually good for us. Plus, Epic has 20% cash back on their store until January. They just extended it to January 8th.
There it is.
I am an Epic fan. I am an Epic fan. Okay, let's just pause on the hate train. But at first I was like, whatever, right? Like games don't even come out in 1.0 really true releases, right? Like every game release we get is like a 0.92. or something like that, right? Like, because there's always, oh, well, there's this patch, or oh, we've got a patch for it'll come out 8 days after the game's out, stuff like that, right? And that's a problem. That's an industry problem for sure. But now that we're at like 5.6 and this engine has been out there in the wild for years now, like, don't forget, it's not just like came out like last year. It's been out for years. And we're seeing all of these games now coming out on UE5. There's problems. And I'm not saying it's not a fantastic engine. I'm saying that Epic, it's time for Epic to really step up and dig in the weeds and fix some of these problems, because it's not just the stutter thing. I don't know if you've seen it, but the voiceover protocol, like VoIP chat in games, right? Like prox chat and stuff like that. And it doesn't work. It does not work. They've had to remove it from games on UE5 because they cannot get the voiceover chat to work. It just doesn't work. It's a huge problem.
I would like to hear your response.
Sounds like a dev skill issue to me. I'm just being honest.
It's not.
I just think Holly is looking for any reason.
When do you go from it's a dev problem to it's an engine problem when you see it everywhere? You could throw a dart at the wall and there's a game.
Umbra, I'm gonna say one thing though. One thing that would give me some concern. So all right, so first off, officially my take on this is that I think both things can be true, right? That yes, there's a level of technical know-how that certain studios have that's better than some of the other studios that are using the engine, right? But I think this ends up becoming a similar situation to what Microsoft had with the dev kit and the tools, right? It doesn't matter what your product can do if you don't have a way for majority of studios that are using your product to actually take advantage of those particular tools and use them to the best ability so their game shine. The end result is the customer is going to see the end product and they're going to complain about it. So they do have an issue where they need to basically find a way to kind of bridge those gaps to get those companies to get closer to what something like Coalition is doing, as opposed to what some of them are doing and failing miserably. My concern is for Halo, because if Halo is completely going to be built in this thing, we can't afford to have the next major Halo release have any of these issues, especially when it comes to like multiplayer. You know what I'm saying? That would be
I agree with that, but I would venture to argue that Halo is going to be so polished by the time we get it, knowing that they cannot fail anymore, that they're going to have the Coalition team there helping them along the way and everything else, which they've already said they would. And so I agree with you, but I don't doubt for a second that they're going to have it right when it comes out. By the way, as a real pushback, the only person or only one account that I've seen use this complaint of the VoIP talker system is from these developers 2-star games that make Cuff Bust.
No, okay, it's not just them. Hunt Showdown. You can't. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. Right? Hunt Showdown, which is a very popular, very large game made by a big studio, had to remove VoIP in their game altogether because it doesn't work. They cannot get Unreal Engine to use it.
Umbra, your response?
I haven't seen any substantiated proof of that. I would like to see it. Proof of that claim, Holly. Though,
is there a studio that is using VoIP that is doing it good in UE5?
Yes, Holly. Do you have anything that contradicts?
I'm just going to find that studio. Like
Umbra needs to find it. He's saying
I will find them.
Right now.
Believe me.
You'd be like, what about this kid? What about this kid?
I
can
feel
tell you
like
after the show.
I just feel like Holly
you got some research to do now. Okay, you got to find someone using it and doing it right.
You know? She's just pushing propaganda, and I just wanted to stop. That's all. I just wanted to stop.
Look, I 100% align with exactly what Donte said as well. Like, I think both things can be true at once. Probably some issues with the engine, but I also feel that developers...
Hunt is in Crytek. That's right.
You don't know that. You're just assuming
it is. No, he's right. I had
you
to think
don't
about
actually know. There is no way to look that shit up.
No, but BP was right. It is in Crytek engine. I had to think about it. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute, that game, the Shadow.
You like, wait a minute, let me read the chat. Oh yeah, that's right. I knew that. That's right.
Now I would have fallen for your lies had it not been BT Maverick. Thank you, BT, for correcting.
BT's in
BT
the
Maverick,
bad
you
and
and I are
the
gonna
good.
have words later.
He's moving up one leaderboard, moving down the other.
There you go, BT. You get a star for the day for calling that out. That is Crytek. How dare you push Crytek on Unreal Engine that you just did, Holly? Huh? Look it up and prove
It
yourself
still has a
wrong.
VoIP. It still has a VoIP problem.
Oh yeah. Sure. Now we should believe you after you just pushed this game onto Unreal Engine. How dare you? You see what I have to deal with? Y'all see this in the chat? You see what I have to deal with Holly and trying to besmirch Unreal Engine?
I will have to hunt down every UE5. We'll have a UE5 topic per week because this has been fantastic. But yeah, look, I think that more developers do need to do exactly what Tim Sweeney said, and I think as well something that we need to take into account is he would have the metrics of how developers are using his engine, so he could see what they're doing and where the problems are. Obviously, he's not going to come out and go like, yeah, we got issues with our engine, our proprietary engine that makes us millions of dollars per year, and we're working on. He's not going to say that. He's going to be like, no, this engine's amazing. It's developers' problem. Like, and I get that. But look,
wait.
UE5
what's Epic's huge behemoth?
Ready
of the
or
game?
not?
What's a huge behemoth of the game?
Fortnite.
Fortnite, right? Fortnite has VoIP.
Yeah, doesn't that have VoIP?
Does that VoIP?
I don't play Fortnite. I don't know.
I would think it would, right?
But I have been playing Ready or Not. Ready or Not VoIP doesn't work either. Because I've been playing Ready or Not, and the Ready or Not VoIP doesn't work either.
All right. This is good. We can come back to this next week and we'll get a result. We'll have a list of VoIPs that work. We'll have a list of VoIPs that don't. We'll throw some Crytek engines in there, some Decimus, just to boost the numbers if we can. Let's see if we can get them past Umbra's gate.
I looked it up and it says, yes, Fortnite uses built-in voice chat, although it doesn't say VoIP to be specific here. I need to find out.
Standard VoIP, but it does have a proximity chat.
Yeah, and there people are saying it works extremely well. So if that is true, Holly, I would use that. Thank you, Donte. We must smite down these vicious lies.
We must smite down this slander and vicious attacks.
We have to get rid of them. We cannot sit by and allow these things to go unnoticed and
unchecked.
Yeah.
You mean like the stutter problem?
I feel like you're trying
stutter problem.
I just feel like you're looking for things to try to push this propaganda now. I just feel like how can we trust you after the VoIP debacle? Like
definitely a stutter problem. Definitely. I got to shout out. I got to shout out Lotus Esprit with the 5 memberships. Thank you again.
Whatever
absolutely fantastic. If you did end up with one of those memberships, please shout out to Lotus Esprit, long-time supporter of the show. I really appreciate everything that you guys do. I appreciate everything in the chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. I know we've been a little bit ad hoc lately where we haven't gone live every week. I am working on it. I've got some life personal issue stuff. But we do have a fantastic show when we have them. So I appreciate all you guys coming through and supporting us. Thank you, every single one of you on Kick, on Twitter, no one goes to Twitch, and on YouTube that come through and support us each and every week. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. Donte, let people know where they can find you, what you'll be up to. And what UE5 game you will be playing and what games what you're looking forward to.
Well, first and foremost, thank you to everybody within the chat. Without you guys, man, we could not do this. So we appreciate you guys for coming through and showing support. You guys are always amazing. So keep being how you are, and I want everybody to have a really good weekend. You can catch me on the socials, Donte J Moody, within the Twitters and threads and all that good stuff. And on the Xbox as Spriggan113. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll catch you guys on the next time.
Absolutely. Holly, let people know where they can find you, what you're up to. Make sure you say salutations to Tim Sweeney. Now, Umbra's going to report back. There's probably going to be some cancellations of your Epic Store. I'm not sure what's going to happen from here, but
I love Epic
Holly?
Store. So what am I doing? I'm gonna be on Web Dave on Sunday night, so go check out Web Dave's channel on Sunday night. I'll be on there, his podcast. And I am going to try to stream Chronos, maybe starting tomorrow. So keep an eye on my channel for that. And then I think I'm gonna make a video on the 007 gameplay reveal that we had this week. So I will
Awesome.
try to drop that in the next week. So keep an eye for that too.
That was amazing. We didn't get a chance to talk about that, but that was amazing. Absolutely. Head down in the description and check all the links for everyone. But that was amazing. I am super hyped for that. Umbra, let people know where they can find you, what you're up to in the description links.
Yes, indeed. As far as myself, first I want to thank the chat. All those who didn't push propaganda, like a certain Lotus out there that just says stuff that's anyway.
You just see it's just haterade oozing out your pores.
I don't know how true this is, but I do see it says Fortnite uses a voice over internet protocol VoIP. System Force in-game voice chat.
Okay.
So just want to say I don't know how true it is or correct. That's AI I use for it really quick. And I know Holly doesn't like to hear that truth, but hey, listen. Cuff Mart or whatever the heck the name, sure they said it, so that must mean something. Anyway, just want to let me stop messing with her. As far as myself, of course, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite, you'll find me either way on social media. On Tuesdays, the Xbox Factor, 12 o'clock Eastern. That's Boom, myself, Jamie Moran. Thursdays, The Fix. That's myself, Daniel J. McGee. And now, the newest member, Crusader, my homie Crusader. Excellent cast. And that's at 8 o'clock Eastern. And, of course, back here with the family on Fridays, typically, on the Infinite podcast. So, thank you all for your continued support. I hope you all come through for our 100th episode for The Fix within next month. By next month? Well, probably by the end. Yeah. Actually, probably by the end of this month. We're at 96, I think. So, yeah, we're almost there. And nice. I want to thank everybody who has come to support the show and actually been on the show. Too bad one person here on this cast hasn't been there to support me.
Anyway, I can't believe you haven't been asked
ever.
Just saying, thank you, Donte.
He never asked me. He's like, I
came through.
Yeah,
thank you.
Because you were asked.
You got asked. Yeah.
I did ask before.
I invited myself on though. Like one day, I was like, you know what, I could do your shade today. He's like, I didn't ask. I'm sure I've asked you before, but I didn't ask you just now. And I'm like, that's all right, I can do it.
Yeah, jump on in.
Umbra, why don't you read that latest super chat? Okay.
I can't. My eyes are not working right now. I got cataracts. I can't see.
Lotus is pretty with the 5 says what she said.
That's what she said.
When I read that, I read it in the black way. What she say? That's the way I'm reading it. Like she's questioning you, like Lotus is questioning you. What she say? I don't,
You can spin this whole thing how you want, but we all know the truth.
Oh, look at Mo.
Mo.
Look at you.
Mo.
Oh, wow.
Mo.
I just want to point out, I did ask. And
don't back her up. Don't back her up.
He really
don't need it.
He hasn't asked me.
Yes, Mo. I'm so disappointed in you for falling for this.
So next propaganda. Week, Holly will be on The Fix. Looking like a fat. Links in the description. Are you adding? You want to add?
Oh no, that's it. But like I said, the 100th episode is fast approaching. I got a lot of great guests.
I'll be there.
Scheduled. Thank you, Donte. Thank you. And maybe Holly might deem my show good enough for her to actually visit one day. I don't know. We'll see. That look tells me no. So anyway, for all those who actually care about me, thank you for supporting the show.
Oh, I need a violin sound. I'm gonna have to get so many sounds out of
a little tiny one.
Sound.
A little tiny one.
Violin sound. So again, shout out to the chat. You guys have been absolutely amazing, and to the panel for sort of putting up with me through these last couple of weeks. I've had pretty rough weeks. I'm being a bit of a pussy, and I am protesting life at the minute. But once I get over myself and push forward, I will figure out how we are going to run the show weekly, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, been a good show. It's a good chat. UE5 sucks. I think we've established that. Bond is great. Game Pass is
Propaganda.
great. Gears should not be on PlayStation, and PlayStation should bring more of the games to Xbox. So that's a fantastic show. I'm glad that we came to all these conclusions. And we will see you all in the next one.
Oh, you got one more super chat.
Nope.
Oh,
What she thought.
oh no.
What she thought but could not say. The $5 super chat, Lotus is free.
Lotus, you're awesome.
So
And on
Lotus,
that-
you're not going to give me one
Lotus,
if
you
what I say
legend.
is right and everything I say is right? How dare you?
Hush.
Lotus?
Legend.
Okay.
I just
On that
said
note-
hush. So that's
We'll
what.
Have a
We'll
great
see you
weekend,
all
everybody. Peace.
in the next one.
Later.
Later, y'all.